Hello everyone, my name is SinnerMan. I am someone who is passionate about storytelling, who loves to talk about potential stories that could be told with a variety of characters, from comics to anime. Whatever I think is interesting, I am always up for a good discussion about them. Now, one character I do want to point out that I do think doesn't get the respect he deserves is Red Hood. The reason why I want to talk about the Red Hood specifically is due to a comic story and video where he discusses what's wrong with the character and a variety of characters which inspired my desire to share my thoughts on where Red Hood is more suited in story continuity. Red Hood's real name is Jason Todd, the murder Robin that was brought back to life. Red Hood is a tragic character not just in the story, but also in how they handle him. I've loved Red Hood ever since watching the Under the Red Hood movie. Anytime there's an anime movie or series, I always thought maybe they could add him just because it would be a nice addition, and plus he's a cool character. After years of ignoring Red Hood, Young Justice sees him returning to the screen in a semi-sentient state in the second to last season of Young Justice, the TV show. I thought they were going to somewhere with it, but they really didn't. They didn't really go ahead and expand upon him. They showed him in a few scenes, which was a little disappointing that we didn't get the whole reveal that this young man has come back to life and would shock the Bat family and everybody else. I think that would be a great moment in the series. What I wanted to discuss is where Red Hood in the comics should be placed at. Just like many legacy characters I do want to talk about at some point, I want these characters in continuity to help flesh out the world and give them a place they can fit, to help the universe of DC be more organic and help the world be more interesting. Red Hood comics have been a bit everywhere. Recently, the Red Hood and the Outlaws have been okay, but nothing direction-wise really helps with his character, or none of the characters that are really with him. Like, Artemis is an amazing character. Like, everything you can go ahead and really flesh out from the character isn't really there. Like, the whole mythical aspect is very interesting for Artemis, but they only use it for, like, minor storylines, and I think that's kind of shitty. When it comes to Bizarro is just a lovely character in himself. So I think he would have interesting storylines when it comes to maybe alien mythology, which would thoroughly be interesting, which would be a sort of a plane of DC that wouldn't really be explored much. I don't think it has been explored much, but I think that would be very interesting. Honestly, I didn't really have a clear direction for the character of Red Hood until I went ahead and saw the Gotham Knights game, which had Red Hood with a supernatural jump, which was kind of weird that they had to explain like his supernatural jump as being something he got that he went ahead and developed when he was risen from the dead, which is kind of silly. It's kind of weird. However, it did make me think of one movie specifically. It made me think of Justice League Dark. Justice League Dark is pretty much a movie where Batman dives into the world of magic to stop a magical threat along with heroes Zatanna and Constantine. This made me think about the magical side of DC. When I think of the Injustice movie, it reminds me of a scene where Shazam, on the behalf of the magical heroes, did not want to help Superman and his crazy ass goals. There's a side of DC that has plenty of magical based heroes, so my idea is why not have Red Hood be the Batman of the magical community? In Justice League Dark, Batman didn't really do much, and I think it would greatly be beneficial for him to be replaced with Red Hood, since Red Hood himself doesn't really care. Like, he kills people in general, and that's pretty much his thing. He used to kill people, but if we were to go with the angle that he can go ahead and he gets to go ahead to fight magical based creatures or demons or whatever, he was able to go ahead and kill them. I think that would be a way more. I think that would be a better utilization of his skill sets than just go ahead and like be non-lethal all the entire time, even though he has a gun. It would be rather beneficial for his character if he becomes more of the Batman of the magical community. I say this because Jason has literally come back from death. A story that they could do is that demons would attack Red Hood on the behalf of a more powerful demon who owned his soul prior to his resurrection. This can open up a pathway to Jason to go ahead and kill zombies, demons, whatever creatures without Batman being angry with him. It would be cool if they expanded it to where they added Artemis and Bizarro and added the whole Outlaws crew into the whole thing. where Artemis could help bridge between mythical beings they could fight and, have amazing storylines with, and Red Hood, which his stories could involve like heaven and hell and like a sort of like overarching plot going on in that direction. With Bizarro, I think it would be cool if they had a sort of like alien mythology angle, or he can just be there as just an amazing Bizarro character and just him being himself and being wholesome and being great at who he is and just being Bizarro. It would be cool to see. It would be cool to see them go ahead and involve themselves in characters like Swamp Thing, Constantine, Zatanna, Dr. Fate, etc. Okay, let's put these elements I talked about together. Let's say there is a major storyline that involves the magic realm of DC. Characters would normally go to Zatanna or Dr. Fate or somebody along those lines to go ahead and help. But depending on the situation and what needs to be done, I think an interesting character to go ahead and approach would be the Red Hood. As instead of Batman, who normally doesn't involve himself in the realm, Red Hood would be a logical and interesting pick if he were to establish himself in that realm. We can excuse that Red Hood can kill, that he doesn't piss off Batman, and that in the place of decent continuity, he can be where he can fit better than just in the wild, in the world. I think his dialogue with Constantine would be rather interesting and funny as well. This idea could be spun into a more adult like series, or like just the regular teenage sort of TV show that could be interesting as well. Of course, I don't think that he should be fighting Trigon or the Lords of Hell or like Zeus or anybody crazy like that. But I think it would be interesting to have Jason be a vehicle into these realms that aren't really looked upon or talked about and only like vaguely referenced. I think it would be really rather interesting for them to go ahead and use Jason as like a magical vehicle into these realms. An interesting twist would be if they could go ahead and turn his Arkham Knight personality like they had in the video game and make it more towards sort of like a twisted version of Jason that would be like sort of like the Hell Knight and could be a plot device, or have some type of memory manipulation type of plot where he used to be the Hell Knight that would go ahead and go around and finish the deals that have been done with demons and specific humans don't go ahead and like honor the bargain, etc., etc. That would be interesting. It would be more interesting than somebody going ahead and just having guns and then sometimes getting beat up by Batman. I don't think it's fair to the character, and it would help stabilize the world and make it much more lush, much more natural and organic. All right, that is it for today. Honestly, this was pretty fun. I'd like to go ahead and talk about my ideas. If you guys want to build upon them in the comments, just theorize, just go ahead and build up something that would be rather interesting and cool. We can do that. We can go ahead and talk in the comments. I love to go ahead and talk about these things. And honestly, thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. And yeah, have a great day. Goodbye.